Hello viewers, you join me with the Ducati, and this may look like a Panigale, but it is not. It is perhaps the Ducati that is least talked about. This is the motorcycle that you get familiar with before progressing on to the Panigales, and this has been built for the road. It is the SuperSport 950S, and although the name says SuperSport, we feel it is more of a sport tourer, because the moment you sit on this motorcycle, you notice that the clip-on handlebars are slightly raised and the foot pegs are fairly low, giving it a rider triangle that is not as aggressive, not as committed as the Panigales. The SuperSport has been around for a fair bit, and what's different about the new model is that it gets a new headlight like the Panigales, a bigger fairing like the Panigales, and a TFT screen from the Panigales. The most important thing about this bike mechanically is that the clutch is now actuated hydraulically, whereas the previous model had a cable clutch. This motorcycle continues to be powered by the 937cc Testa Stretta V-twin, and because of Euro 5 emission norms, we have lost up to 3 horsepower and no loss in torque. So now this motorcycle makes 110 horsepower and 93 Newton meters of torque. But the thing that is worth noting is that this may just be the last time that we see the 937cc engine in this particular motorcycle. Even though the SuperSport is not as powerful or as aggressive as the Panigale, it is not a motorcycle that has to be taken lightly. It makes 110 horsepower, and in sport mode, if you're brave enough to whack the throttle open and keep it pinned, then this motorcycle is fully capable of lifting up the front wheel and going forward at mind-blowing pace. But what we like about it is that it does let you enjoy that kind of thrill without the kind of commitment that a proper SuperSport or sport bike demands. What we like about the Olin suspension is that it is fully adjustable, which means you can set up the motorcycle just the way you want. And right now we have it in a very soft setting, and it is working very well for our road conditions, which allows us to ride this motorcycle at a very relaxed pace, enjoying the sights, enjoying a bit of thrill as well, without compromising on any kind of comfort. The ride quality is quite good, and even after a long ride, this motorcycle is not as tiring as a more committed sport bike. Now, although it is a mild-mannered Ducati when compared to other motorcycles in and around this segment, the SuperSport stands out as a machine that is very easy to ride fast and very eager to be ridden fast as well. There is some potential in this motorcycle that can be exploited at a racetrack, which can make it fun, but do note that when you start pushing it, it does not have the kind of stability that the Panigale has. But what we must remember is that this motorcycle is not built for that kind of thing. It is built to be exciting on the road and have some trackability, and I think Ducati have managed that balance very well. Braking is managed by top-spec Brembo componentry at either end, and it is extremely sharp, has good bite, and brings the motorcycle to a stop very quickly. But do note that unless you engage ABS 1, the ABS cuts in quite early and does ruin the sport bike experience if you're trying to go very fast on a mountain road. If we had to summarize the SuperSport into a few sentences, we could say that this is not a motorcycle that will entice the youth of today who want sharp handling and performance, but it could be very much in demand among older gentlemen who appreciate having a lunch or two and are not ready to get rid of the sport bike experience just yet. And that is where it strikes the balance very well. At the end of our time with the SuperSport, there are two things we feel Ducati could improve with this motorcycle. One is that the steering lock is too little to make U-turns in the city, especially in cities like ours where U-turns need to be tight. Second is the price. The SuperSport S, this particular model, costs rupees 19.11 lakh ex-showroom. And if you pay 1.5 lakhs more, you can get the 955 Super Quadro Panigale V2. If the gap was a little bit bigger, then the SuperSport would be attractive to a lot of people from both sides of that price range. If there's something we have left out, do ask us in the comments and we will get back to you promptly. This is Joshua Verghese signing off for Bike India.